does me having a septum piercing affect somebody else?
Listen, yeah, the septum piercing is a queer uniform,
It is.
and ain't nothing you're gonna do about it.
And it looks fucking great. You know when I got when I got my septum piercing, I thought I was the baddest bitch on this earth.
Period.
I'm over it now. Because when you first get it, it's like, oh my God. Hello. Hi guys, and welcome to episode 172 of the Tutus podcast. I am Nana.
And I'm Ro.
And together we are Tutus. Do you know what I was thinking? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I mean,
This
last
is
year.
second, I'm
technically we're in the new year now.
We're already in the new year, but still Happy New Year. I'm just going to say it. I don't think people are going to stop saying it for at least a few weeks.
Yeah, I
think if you didn't know, that is the Happy New Year in Tree, where we're from. That's our native tongue. I thought we should take it back, talking about history and stuff quickly. I think we should take it back to Snog, Marry and Avoid. I think we should, just for this episode.
I just want to put a disclaimer. We didn't plan to both wear black t-shirts, and I just noticed.
Oh my god!
Because somebody was both wearing grey jumpers, grey hoodies, and somebody reposted one of them, was like, oh, they're so funny. They're both wearing grey hoodies.
Do you know what? The grey wasn't even the same shades. I don't think mine was a Nike, and I think yours was Daily Paper.
Yeah, the different jumpers, babe. And I didn't even notice it until someone pointed it out.
Also, black and grey are very common colours. Everybody's gonna have a black t-shirt. It ain't that deep. But also, I've also noticed when we go out, if we might be wearing the same colour.
Yeah. It's actually just a coincidence.
It's not that deep.
Guys. It's just a coincidence.
It's really not that deep.
We're
But
not boy band, okay?
yeah. I think we should just take it back for this episode of Snog, Marry and Avoid.
For those of you who are new here, we used to play Snog, Marry and Avoid back in the day when we started our podcast, and it was a bit. I feel like everyone kind of knew us for that.
Yeah, they really liked it. I feel like our listeners really liked that little segment of our podcast where we used to play that in the beginning.
We just felt like we grew out of it.
Do you know what? And my thing was we was going in too deep about why we wouldn't marry somebody or why. Do you know what I mean? These are people. We shouldn't be talking about people like this.
And even somebody even said that the games that we did at the beginning are too long. I feel like we haven't done one since that person said it. We should go on for 20 minutes, guys. We'll try and keep it short and sweet, okay?
Yeah, we'll try and keep it short and sweet. Oh, I'm thinking, even that I said we should play this game. Do I even know who I'm picking?
Snog, Marry and Avoid. Okay.
All right. Let me think.
It's so mad because when we used to play this, Victoria Monet just came out. When we used to play this.
Oh my god!
We just mentioned Victoria Monet.
She's a fine babe,
who is that?
These are people that we've probably already picked already.
Because you have to pick people who are age appropriate too. There's that part.
Yeah.
Okay, after I just said that, I'm gonna do one.
Okay, go for it.
I'm gonna say, we can add influencers in as well, yeah.
Oh,
we never used to add influencers because before that they were too close.
They're too close. Yeah, they're too close.
I don't give a fuck.
Are you talking about UK influencers?
Yeah, or anyone, any UK, US, whatever the case may be. And I'll get. Do you know what? Fuck it. Let's go for it.
Should we go for it?
Let's go for it.
Okay.
Okay. I was about to say somebody, but they are so close to proximity.
I feel like we're treading on.
But I'm going to go for Leomi Anderson, the British model.
Yeah.
Stunning, darling.
And designer as well.
And a designer brand.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for...
I'm scared, man. I'm scared.
I'm going to go for... Tolly T from the Receipts podcast, which you love so dearly.
Oh yeah, I love Tolly. you Tolly's too close to home.
Tolly's extremely close to home. We love you. And the third and final person I'm going to pick is Lex from Courtney and Lex. The married couple.
Yeah, which one is Lex?
Lex is the femme.
She actually looks like Angelina Jolie.
She kind of has a cross between her and Kehlani.
Yeah, Angelina Jolie and Kehlani. Yeah.
And Lex. So just to repeat myself.
Those are very different women.
They are. Leomi Anderson, Tolly T, and Lex from Court and Lex.
I feel like I don't know anything about Lex. I know this is just
Snog, Marry and Avoid.
Snog, Marry. I know. But this is what I'm saying. This is why we couldn't play this game. I feel like I'm marrying Tolly.
Okay.
I feel like I'm gonna marry Tolly. That's, I feel safe in that. I feel like I'm going to snog. Leomi's too close to home, man. She be knowing, she knows somebody that I don't know.
She's great, but I don't know her. We've never spoken. I don't think she knows me.
She's friends with my ex, so that's very close.
It's your ex, not mine.
Yeah, I'm playing the game with you. Oh yeah, I'm going to snog Leomi. And I'm going to avoid Lex because I literally just don't know anything about her. I know that doesn't matter, but she's gorgeous though.
She's gorgeous, babe. I would say I'm going to marry Lex because she's married to a lesbian, so it's obvious she's going to marry.
Is that word? Yeah, that's very logical,
that's
isn't
why I'm
it?
picking her because she's a lesbian.
Right.
I am going to snog Leomi. I think she's fine as fuck, and I can do that because she's not my ex's friend, and I'm going to avoid Miss Tolly T because I really see Tolly like a big sister, and I'm not saying that like we're very close because we're not very close, yeah. But I look up to Tolly, so I'm going to just say that it will be a bit incestuous for me to do that. So that's what my choice is.
Yeah, I hear that. I do not see her as a big sister, but I see her as like
I see like a podcasting.
Yeah, like a podcasting like friend. Okay, cool, colleague. Yeah. Right, mine. I don't know if you probably know these. Well, you know two of them. Okay, Des Dior. I feel like she's an influencer. I feel
like she's one of the American baddies.
She's Jada Waiter's friend.
She is
fine.
I think actually know what she looks like, but I don't remember. But you got a feeling.
She is gorgeous, gorgeous girl. They were in Nigeria recently. And they look like they were having a whale of a time.
I did capture that. Look at her.
Yeah.
She's
gorgeous babe.
Oh, yeah.
The other one is Dorcas.
As in
DFS or DS.
Okay.
DS.
Yeah. DJ.
Yeah, the actress and DJ.
Okay.
And the other one, I feel like I should make it a British babe.
Dorcas is British.
Yeah, but like she's Niger girl, I'm a Niger babe. I feel like I should make the last one a British babe. Nadia Rose.
Oh, Nadia Rose. Okay. I am going to marry Des Dior.
Of course. You just go for it. Are you seeing it Insta?
Yeah. I would love to walk down the aisle. Well, to have her walk down the aisle towards me because what a sight that would be. And I'm willing to do anything to make the marriage work.
Right.
Marrying. I am going to snog Nadia Rose. No shade to your girlfriends, by the way, because I think they're so cute.
They are cute together.
I think they're really, really cute, and I'm hoping that she comes on the podcast in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So snog.
Yeah.
And I am going to... Yeah, I think I'll come up with actual reason.
Yeah.
I love you guys together, but Nana's put me on the spot here. She's put me on the spot here. So here we are. And I am going to avoid Dorcas.
Okay.
Because... we used to know each other when we were younger. We knew each other when we were young. We were in like secondary school, like college times. We had a mutual friend, a very close mutual friend. So me and Dorcas weren't friends, but we had a mutual friend. So we were around each other sometimes. And I'm going to avoid her because I don't fuck with them people. No more.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I'm going to avoid her.
That's fair.
And when I see her out, we don't greet each other. So if we can't greet each other, how am I going to marry her lips? So I'm standing on business.
Standing on business. 2024 standing on business. Okay. I would say the same. I would definitely would love to marry Des Dior because she is gorgeous. Not only that, but she seems like, she's got her head screwed on, which I love. Gorgeous girl. And Dorcas, because I know her and I fancied her friend, so that would be a bit too...
Oh, you did?
I did. Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I'm snogging. Actually, I'm snogging Nadia Rose. No shade as well to like no...
Respect the wifey.
Respectfully, Nadia's a little freak. So like, yeah, we'll go with that.
Oh, we'll have to talk about that when she comes through, you know what I'm saying?
We will. But yeah, that was a little game of snog, marry and avoid for to be people that loved it from way back when.
Way back.
way back when.
I'm not sure if we bring it back anytime soon.
No,
so I
not
hope you
really.
enjoyed that.
Yeah. No, we're not bringing it back. But how are you?
Oh God. So I injured myself in the gym.
Oh yeah.
Last week. So I'm in a bit of back pain.
Still.
Yes. And I did go to the gym yesterday because I had a shoot in the gym, and I thought it was a gym that I really wanted to go to before, and I had an opportunity. I was in there, so I had an opportunity to work out. So I did.
Yeah.
Do I regret it?
Oh shit! It made it worse. You
I wouldn't
ready?
say it made it worse, but I definitely wasn't ready to be in the gym, and I was on the road to healing, and it's caused by healing.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Probably should have done that.
So, but apart from that, I've been good. I'm going to Unplugged.
Oh yeah, Unplugged.
Yeah, I'm going to Unplugged. A getaway. So, if those of you listen to podcasts before, I went to Unplugged not last September, the September 4, 2022. I went in September. I went to stay in a forest in a cabin by myself for 4 nights. Was it 3 nights? I feel like it was 3 nights. And I'm going again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go with anyone special?
I'm going again. I'm going again. And I can't wait. I'm going to have a good time.
So what are you going to do? Like shopping again like you did last time?
Do you know what? This time I'm going to do shopping on the way because I did shopping and dragged the suitcase with me to the cabin.
But can you shop there? Like is there a town nearby to shop?
Yeah, like you can go to the farm and get some eggs.
Oh, okay.
But I'm going to a different one. I'm not going to say when I went to.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to a different one. I'm going to say when I went to. But we're getting a rental this time.
So you get a car?
Yeah, but I got the train last time. Yeah. I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, because you had to carry your whole load, didn't it?
Yeah, because obviously it's a cabin where you're off the grid. There's no electric. The toilet doesn't flush, but there is hot water. There is a stove. There's a fireplace. And the whole point is you put your phone away, you lock it away, and it's just a digital detox. So yeah,
I love that for you. I'd like to one day go on a digital detox cleanse.
I recommend.
To offload and stuff. And yeah, we'll put the description in the. We'll put the.
They need to pay me, chat.
Unplugged. Oh,
we'll put it, but they need to pay me.
I don't know about that right now.
There are people are always asking about it.
Yeah, but maybe they could use some sort of discount code or something.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
For real, it's true.
We'll not put it in the description. But yeah, today, gosh, we're talking about arrested development in the queer community, because I feel like
those people don't know what it is. I didn't know what it was.
Arrested development is when your development isn't where it needs to be. You haven't developed to the point where you need to develop at your stage in life, at your age in life, and I feel like for the queers that is definitely a thing for the queers, and I feel like it's a thing for the queers because like one reason in particular. We come out quite late in life. Do you know what I mean? And when I talk about arrested development, I mean like maybe not having the job or the career that you want. Maybe it comes a bit late. Maybe you're still finding yourself because you finally found out who you are, and that next step is to find out what you actually want to do with who you are, and what your purpose is in life. But yeah, so not like being at the stage that you want to be in, like, you know, there's lots of like 30-year-old queers. There's a lot of like masculine presenting women who are very immature, and I think that's down to arrested development. I was speaking to someone yesterday and they were like, the oldest person they dated, a masculine presenting woman, is the most immature person that they've dated. And I was like,
I mean, I can see that.
I can see that. And then a lot of us are also creatives, but so that also sort of like puts a bit of a spanner in the works in terms of progression, because the creative industry is pretty challenging. It's pretty hard to get into. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, and I don't know what the solution is for arrested development either.
Do you know what? I feel like a lot of the time when the people that you hang around with and stuff like that, you rub off on each other. Right. And I feel like if you're gonna be with a lot of people or you gravitate to people that you like, and if you're gonna be around people who are not leveling up, as Stormzy would say, not G'd up, you're not maturing at the rate that you should be maturing and things like that, then I don't know who's encouraging you to do these things. If everyone around you is the same as you, who's encouraging you to grow? Like who's doing that? And when I think about my maturity, I do feel like for a lot of my 20s, I was a bit more immature than I should have been in a lot of my 20s. Same. And when I think about my early 30s, I think that I started to mature when I left my last relationship. and I feel like my maturity was stunted in my last relationship, no shade. And I think it's because who I was around. Do you know what I'm saying? They were quite playful. They were quite they were, again, no shade, they weren't the most mature of people. Do you know what I'm saying? And then since then, the people that I've dated since are just a lot more mature. And I feel like that's encouraged me to mature. Because I don't want to step into chatting to gal and be like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to feel like I don't have the emotional maturity to deal with certain situations. I don't feel like I don't have the mental maturity as well. And also, I have friends who are also mature too. Do you know what I'm saying? My friends might be younger than me, but like there is a maturity that all of my friends have, and we all rub off on each other. And I just feel like this person that person's talking about, maybe all their friends are like them.
But do you
and
see?
They are, 'cause I've seen them.
Do you know what? Maybe like it's really crazy to me because I feel like yes, it is about the people that you hang around with. But if all of us, and I'm just speaking, I'm not saying that all of us are, but if all of us in this community are like, you know, underdeveloped and immature, then like who is going to be an influence? Like where does the influence come from for us to grow? Do you
It's
get what I'm
so funny
saying?
because the person the other day said that one of us needs to get married because we're visible to our community. So like, if you guys don't get married, no one else is gonna get married.
I ain't putting that responsibility on my head.
We're gonna get married because of y'all.
Yeah.
First of all. And it's true, there are not a lot of people in our community that are married. There are some, and the ones who are married, like when I look at Nicole and Betty, and congratulations.
Oh,
just
they had a baby. We have a queer baby in the community. Another one.
And I'm just so happy for them.
Yeah, I am happy for them as well.
And obviously they're not married, but like they're going to be married soon, innit?
They will be.
We might as well call them married.
Yeah.
And to them, I see them as quite matured. I see that. Obviously, I don't know them like personally like that. But from what I can see, like that's a grown couple.
That
right
is
there.
a grown couple.
Do you know what I'm saying? And it's true, we don't have many examples of people like them. It's true.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Like, if we are not seeing it, then how can we be it? You know. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing, and also like when we speak about like masculine presenting women, the older ones going for young. That women, that's the reason. It's arrested development. They're not mature enough to handle. I don't want to say handle because that sounds negative, but they're not mature enough to be with somebody their own age.
Do you think that the femme girls mature quicker or mature more than the mask babes?
I think so. I don't know what that is about because it's really given like
men mature,
right? Yeah. Like it's given gender roles. I don't like it.
Yeah, slightly.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's given gender roles, and that's weird. But I do find that a lot of because even that 22-year-old that we know who has completely got her shit together, in comparison to somebody who's 29 and who kind of might be, do you know what I mean? Might not be on the same kind of level, like maturity wise. That's an example right there.
Yeah, I said to someone the other day, like maturity is not about age.
No.
So like you can't really, I don't like when people say that someone's mature for their age or someone says, oh, she's mature for her age, so I'm going to go there. Because it's not about age. It's about where you are at mentally and emotionally and your life experiences that have got you there. But like when somebody is too young for you, it's because you're in different stages of life. That's what it is. I don't think it's really necessary about maturity because you can be more mature than somebody when you're 22 than you are at 29.
But also, I would like to argue as well. I agree with that, but I would like to argue that as you grow and as you come into yourself and as you experience life, you do gain wisdom and you do gain like
for sure,
you know, like how to like deal with certain things as they come up.
That's true, and I feel like there's a lot of people not learning. There's a lot of people.
That's the point.
Like you've gone through all these things, but you haven't taken the life lessons out of that and applied that to your maturity. So that's why the 22-year-old is more mature than you. Do you know what I mean? And it's really sad.
Like it's really, really sad. Like I wouldn't sit here and say that I'm the most mature as like 32-year-old. Like I'm not.
I'm not. I mean? I'm happy with maturity though. Yeah. I don't want to act like an old hag either.
No.
Because I want to be youthful.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you feel youthful, like I don't know, there's a health around it. I feel like you kind of deteriorate in life when you just feel like you're an old hag. So I'm not trying to feel like that. But also I just also feel like people allow the way society sees them and their queerness and how they present to say that they're not good enough to be in certain spaces, they're not good enough for certain careers, they they might feel like, oh, I'm gonna go here, so and they're already gonna judge me already when I walk through the door before I speak my open. No, but you need to like fuck that, and you need to go walk through the door regardless. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because that's what I was saying about like even the representation. The last time we were saying like studs don't have representation, and I understand how daunting that might be because they're not palatable, especially like dark skin, hyper masculine studs. Going into certain spaces, they're gonna be looked at like, do you know what I mean? And that's the reason why like masculine, hyper masculine women, queer women, they might do certain jobs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They might do the labourers like jobs.
Listen, I've had a couple mask jobs myself, as we would call them.
Yeah, you have had a few in it.
So, and I'm not the most hyper masculine person, as you can see, girl. But number one, security.
Where did you do security?
I never did security though.
Okay,
I don't think I could do security.
But there's a lot of.
But I did go for the course. I did.
Okay.
For
the badge,
for the SIA badge, I did. Mask babes, even femmes as well. Actually, lesbians in general, queer women in general, love a security job.
They love security.
There's been a couple times I've been on the door, I've been getting frisked up by security.
Yeah,
and they've been like,
they're always like queer women.
They love it.
Yeah.
Security women, they love a search and mask babe, yeah. And I remember back in the day, even I went to Scala and I now know who the person is, but I see the stud always on the door and now I know who she is. And I used to be like, she's always on the door. And even our good sis Bianca is a security as well.
Yeah,
like
she does that sometimes.
They love a security job.
They love a security job.
Bus driving. And now, if you read into the podcast, you know I used to be a bus driver. Loved it. Love a bus driving job. There was, and obviously Tyler, who's been a guest here, was a trans man who was also there, another queer person on that at my bus company. And there was an older grandma, I used to call her grandma lesbian, grandma stud at work. She never used to really talk to me much, but she's giving me the nod every now and then. And every now and then I still a little mask babe driving a bus. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We love a TFL job. We love a tube because that's different to buses, guys. TFLs are the same as buses.
I hope people would know that.
Same.
They should know that, man.
So we love a TFL, CSA, customer service. And then we go into being a tube driver. Yeah. When I was I used to be a train manager as well. When I was a train manager, I don't think there was many of me though at train managing.
Yeah, but wasn't the train industry like a bit more white and male?
It's more white and male.
Yeah.
But there were quite some mask babes on the platforms actually.
Okay. Right.
So there was one that she still works for one of the companies that I worked for. But I never saw her in person, but we just followed each other on Instagram. I think we saw each other in person once actually, or I saw her. And labouring jobs. We do love a labour job. There was another person that I knew that used to be a labourer. I used to drive my bus past them. Imagine that.
I'm done.
What other jobs is it? The mass babes like? Oh, the gay boys love a bartending job.
What is that?
Gay boys love to be bartenders.
Why? I wonder what that is. I need to ask somebody.
Let me just shimmy around the bar. Who knows?
That is so interesting.
The girls love a bartending job.
They do like a bartending job. I don't know, like if it's like kind of like a bit more soft life. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe, you know, maybe because the tips. Maybe you might meet some people. I don't know, like. But you guys do love a soft life, so that could be something to do with it as well. Because I worked in a bar. Remember that bar we worked in?
Yep, we worked in a bar.
So many queer people that worked in the bar.
It was like 90%.
Yeah, everybody was queer. He worked there.
Yeah, that's true.
Shoreditch House, Soho House. Everyone is queer that works in Soho House.
That's true.
You know?
Do you feel like the queer community are lazy? I mean, that's a very broad thing to say.
Okay, that is a very, very broad thing to say.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say the queer community are lazy. But there are some people in our community, there are quite a few people in our community that are lazy. Yeah. I think people want things handed to them a lot in our community. This is, again, no shade. And I feel like we should always come together and we should always contribute where we can.
Yeah.
But there are some people, at a slight inconvenience, are creating GoFundMe pages or posting up their PayPal. The one that really kind of threw me off was somebody... old council tax, and they had gotten it was something like a phone bill. It was a bill. It was a luxury bill, and they got into the CCJ stage, and I saw them upload a GoFundMe to help them pay the CCJ. I think that's irresponsible because that's not because you don't have food to put in your mouth. That's what you can't pay because you can't afford to pay pills. That's because you were irresponsible with your money and didn't pay your bills, and that it was a luxury bill. It wasn't council tax. It wasn't rent. It wasn't even a mobile phone bill. It was something random. Yeah. And that's irresponsible. And I feel like there are quite a few people that do that. Like, or they will leave their job and within 2 weeks, I left my job 2 weeks ago because it was stressing me out. And now I need money for next month or whatever the case may be. And in this life, I ain't trying to sound like a Tory light, yeah, but like you have to be responsible.
You do have to be responsible, and you know what, I can appreciate and I can sympathize with the queer community because there are lots of things going on when we think about it. Like they might have like really bad mental health, they might have like neurodiversity, like these might be factors that factor into like how they're able to actually work and if they're able to work. So I completely understand that. But again, it is about trying to be responsible. It is about putting things in place where you have the tools. So when that you are going through maybe like sort of like a mental health crisis, there is support there.
Yeah.
Or there is some sort of financial support. Because you can't just be running to
GoFundMe if you know that leaving a job is going to put you out and if you can like just stay there until you can find a new job or at least until you've applied for some jobs and you've got a start date to somewhere else, you've got something to look forward to, just don't put yourself out there just for no reason. If you know you got a roof of, especially if you live at home with your parents, like just be responsible.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? There's always a plan. Like things are not always going to be perfect. We're not always going to be comfortable and stuff like that. Yeah. But don't purposely make yourself more uncomfortable and then they expect everybody else to put all the pieces for you.
Yeah, it's true. I think the GoFundMe is like a little bit like wild because then you're expecting people to be responsible for you where you're an adult and you need to be responsible for yourself. We need to we need to learn that like we're adults now. We need to learn to be responsible for ourselves and not really expect like people to pick up the pieces when you know you've sort of like done the damage. Do you know what I mean? You know, that's making sense. But I would
use some sense.
Let's be sensible.
Let's use some sense.
Yeah.
Because there's people that genuinely need help.
Yeah.
And like if I see a link from your CCJ and I've given you £50, there was a time when I used to drop £50 in people's GoFundMes and then I see them indirect me on Twitter. So now I don't give money to anyone's GoFundMe until I know you personally. There's a time I'll be dropping, all you people that be posting GoFundMes, I'll be dropping £50 and you wouldn't even say thank you when you see me in person. But it's fine. But don't indirect me on Twitter. Yeah. And like if I've dropped £50 in the CCJ, this person's CCJ, somebody else who's genuinely homeless, I don't have no more money to give to them because I've given someone who was being disingenuous. Yeah. So there's even that. I even heard there were God, I'm about to bait up some people. I even heard there was a group of people, who made GoFundMes for chest surgery. Yeah. And they didn't actually get the chest surgery and they didn't intend on getting a chest surgery either. They just knew at the time people were giving money around because BLM and there was a lot of white guilt happening at the time. So their GoFundMes were getting filled. And then people who genuinely needed chest surgery, maybe they... Because it takes a lot to also upload a GoFundMe. It's a lot of pride you need to put to the side. Yeah. You're asking people to help you out and you're asking strangers to help you out. And that's very, very difficult. And there's some people that have gone through the mental challenge of being able to do that, maybe later than these disingenuous people were, and they're not getting the money. And that's not fair. So I am aware of some people who have done that. And I'm not going to mention everyone's names. If you listen to the podcast, you know who you are, yeah. But let's use our sense. Let's be the real sense of community that we are and allow people who genuinely need those platforms for money to raise money and leave it to them. Like, I agree. Be responsible.
I agree. And I also think that, like cheat the system, but don't cheat people like yourselves. Like, I don't think that's good. Sorry, but I just don't. It's not cool. That don't sit well with me. That don't sit well with my spirit. I think if you're going to cheat the system 100% because the system like holds like it pulls us down, do you get? So I completely understand that, but like don't be cheating people out their money. As you said, like they're taking away from people that actually need it and actually could use it. Do you know what I mean? Like, because these things are not cheap.
For sure. So what other gay jobs are there?
What other gay jobs are there?
I think the gay boy's like a PR as well. But that's a good job though. Go working in PR. I feel like, okay, so when we're talking about these careers, we're talking about these careers, but none of them are corporate careers. And when you go into corporate spaces, this is not often you see women that look like us in corporate spaces. You don't even always see black women in general in corporate spaces. But I do think you can see some of the queer boys in there.
Yeah.
You do see some of them, whether they're out on queer or
I feel
not.
like queer boys are able to assimilate a bit better. I don't know what it is because they just be switch. Have you seen a guy switch up? Like he's femme 1 minute and he completely switches.
Yeah, what they do is if they put on a suit.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying?
just,
and then they sit down.
They
They
wear
don't
the same
speak.
clothes. Yeah.
No one's gonna know anything. Whereas if I go and wear the same suit and go and sit there with my shape up. Then I still don't say anything. Me not saying anything still says a lot of words.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. How you look says a lot of words.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do feel like unless like they're creatives and they want to be creatives, yeah. These guys have their accountants, they're in PR. Do you know what I mean? Like they actually do have, because I feel like they can assimilate.
Yeah,
Like,
I do. And the queer non-binary and girl people who maybe dress a certain way, even the masculine presenting ones who are not as aggressive looking as somebody else. Like you don't have the tattoos,
right?
Or their tattoos a bit more hidden, or you don't have the shape up, or your haircut is a little bit. You can pass for a feminine haircut, things like that. Yeah, you see them in the spaces. They don't. Maybe they might not mind wearing a shirt that's a little bit more fitted, trousers a bit more fitted, wearing the woman's shoes. Like they might switch. They might like bend the masculinity a little bit for the workplace. But there's some people who just don't want to bend it at all. Yeah. And those are the ones you don't really see in those spaces.
But that's the thing as well. Even like myself, when I'm thinking about me, like in a like maybe like a corporate but slash like creative kind of place, like I will still feel some type of way because I want to dress like how I want to dress, and I feel like a lot of the time if you don't dress like, you know, how they want you to dress, like if you're a woman you should be dressing like more feminine and stuff like that, it speaks volumes. Like you can pick me out in a crowd full of employees, do you know what I mean, and say that person's different.
Yeah.
And for me, I feel like that stands out because when you go into the workplace, you want to be comfortable, and I feel like that's the reason why a lot of queer people might not even want to go into the corporate.
Yeah, that's true.
Corporate work environment.
Do you know what I mean? Uncomfortable.
Yeah, because they'll be uncomfortable. And I feel like a lot of queer people are creative because there's a freedom in being creative, even though it's you broke all the time. You always looking for work, you know. You always got your Oyster cards and your tote bag.
For real, child.
And the fact that like even driving, like queer people don't drive. We say this all the time.
We pulled up to the club the other day, yeah. And my friend was like looking for parking, and I was like, it's gonna be. She was like, we should go early so she can find parking. And I was like, it's calm because every time we go to this venue, it's a straight rave, and they all drive. We're going there for a queer event. The queers don't drive, so there's going to be parking, babe.
Yeah.
And there was parking when we got there.
Yeah. There's definitely arrested development in that, like queers not driving. Like I just got my license, and for various reasons I didn't have it before, but like that's an example of us having arrested development, you know. And we gotta do better. You know, I feel like we're in a place where life is a bit more progressive. I know it's not as progressive as we need it to be, but I do feel like we're on our way. So I do feel like as a community, we definitely need to like be trying a bit harder.
Yeah, we can step out of our comfort zones a bit more. Like, even I've had corporate jobs before. Like, I do love I like the trains and the buses because that's what I like. Right. Do you know what I'm saying? When I've had jobs, that's what I like. But I've worked in advertising before. I've worked in law. I've worked in the NHS, babe. I've done it all. I've done it all. And I don't actually think... So I worked in IP law, and I worked in a law firm which was right next to the Old Bailey. Very, very posh. And when I had my piercings, all of that, my spiney was even a lot more visible than it is now, yeah. And I didn't normally I used to take my piercings out before interviews, and I didn't for this one. And I got the job almost immediately. And I wondered if they cared about all these things and and they actually didn't. Like sometimes it's also in our minds.
Sometimes it is, because sometimes they just like see for you, and they see that as a part of you. I remember I've had so many jobs. I've worked in the NHS as well. I worked in the GP surgery. I remember we worked this, and this Muslim woman was like, I don't even notice your like piercings, like because I still had my septum at the time. I don't even, because it's just a part of you, she said. Like it's just you. And I was like,
yeah,
okay. Sometimes people, you go into a room and people do accept you for who you are. So I think that we shouldn't shy away from going into certain rooms.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you walk into a room and they reject you from that room or whatever, don't take it as a rejection. Like you're not supposed to be there. Like there is definitely somewhere in this world, in this corporate world, if that's what you want, there is a space there for you. You have to just go and grab that space.
Yeah.
And I do want to see more people on corporate spaces. Even like when we do like corporate panels and things like that.
Yeah.
To be fair,
It's queer people though.
Yeah, it's queer people. The reason why we've got called there is because someone listens to the podcast and they work there. And are there often people that look like Nana and I? No, they're not.
They're femme
to be very
presenting.
honest, they're either femme presenting or they've dimmed down their maskness to be in that workplace. Do you know what I'm saying? Or they're coming into their queerness. A lot of people who are coming into their queerness as well.
Yeah.
That ask us to come do panels and things like that. But they are there.
Yeah,
Do you know
are.
what I'm saying? They are there. So there's also a space for you as well. They are doing it, so you can do it as well if you want to. If you want to go down a corporate lane.
Yeah.
Never feel like no field is not for you. It's for everyone.
Yeah, it's so funny because I don't know if I've said this before, but one of my dad's good friends, best friends, a few years ago, he came over to the house and he was just like, oh, why do you have that in your nose? And I was like, because I like it. And he was like, but like people will see you in the street and just like make up a whole narrative about you because you have a nose piercing like a bull. I was like, that's not my problem. Like, that's got absolutely nothing.
How does that affect your day to day?
Exactly.
Like, how does it even affect you within that minute?
How does me having a septum piercing affect somebody else?
Listen, yeah, the septum piercing is a queer uniform,
It is.
and ain't nothing you're gonna do about it.
And it looks fucking great. You know when I got my septum piercing, I thought I was the baddest bitch on this earth.
Period.
I'm over it now. Because when you first get it, it's like, oh my God. No, honestly.
I mean, I just forget that I have it now.
Yeah, because now it's just
used
there.
to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
just part of it. I even got my nose ring changed to a stud the other day.
I actually prefer it.
I think I prefer it. Yeah, I think I prefer it. And my smiley is still in there, but it's not that noticeable.
It's a small one.
It's
Because you could
very
get a
small.
longer one, innit?
No, so
You can't.
basically it was pierced before and it ripped out the skin. So I had to get it pierced higher up. So I think it is actually the same bar, but I just had to get it higher up.
Okay.
So it's there. You know, we've had various piercings that have come and gone.
Yeah.
You know,
And I just think it's silly to to say something like that, because if a doctor has a sleeve, a tattoo sleeve, does
How
that
does that
make
affect
them
his job?
Exactly? Does it make him like less competent to do some sort of surgery that he went to school for years for?
I don't know. Even the piercings don't affect, unless if you're in a job where you might get caught somewhere.
Yeah,
that's
then you need to
different.
take it out.
But like, I just feel like things society needs to be progressive when it comes to things like tattoos and piercings. Like, people are asking me, what does your mum think? I'm 33 years old. Why do you think I care? Do you think I'm getting my mum's permission to get piercings and tattoos?
That's insane to me, man. Mum,
like, I don't care what she thinks about my piercings and tattoos. They're on my body. Like, no, I don't care about anyone's opinions about the things I do to my body. Like, that just has nothing. How does it affect anybody?
It's just so dumb. It's not like, why I don't know why this uncle cared so much about the fact that I had a symptom. He cared so much. We was going back and forth for like 30 minutes. And it's like, it's not that deep.
Yeah, and it's mad, yeah, because even I don't know if you've seen, some people have reposted my videos and they've commented on the fact that we have a septum. That it's happened quite a few times.
People have commented
like
on
some of them were
septum.
like, somebody said, oh, look at them, they're ball rings in their nose. Somebody said,
Yes, it's a ball ring. We like it.
The thing is, yeah, these aren't ball rings because ball rings are bigger than this. So shame on you.
Because And you know what's really interesting about that as well? Like, because it's usually Africans who say this rubbish, right? Around Africa, in different cultures, they be doing a lot. They stretch their ears.
It's part of a culture.
Some thingy in their nose, and it looks beautiful. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it looks beautiful. That is their culture. But nobody says anything about that. No.
The moment when you do it, you're a fucking lesbian.
Yeah,
you're the problem.
You're a fucking queer. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to me. It is crazy to me. Like,
I just feel like in African culture anyway, there's a lot of emphasis on how people perceive you, and we're raised with auntie's gonna say that you're this, or this person's gonna feel like you're this if you do that. We're raised with doing things for show. We're raised by having this career because it looks good that we have this career. We're raised by every Sunday you have to dress up even you're going out or not. Like, there's just all these things that are for other people's perception, and there's not enough of us being raised in an environment, especially African environments, to
Be yourself.
just to be yourself. What about your happiness, your internal happiness?
Yeah.
We're not raised to appreciate our internal happiness and to even have that flourish within us. It's always raised to what auntie's gonna think about you.
Do you know how much like anxiety you have as a child growing up because you're thinking, oh shit, what's this person gonna think if I do this? And it's not harming anyone and it's not harming yourself. Like I feel like that's the difference between like our, you know, their parenting and our parenting.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna be able to raise our kids in sort of like a safe space, and a safe space enough for them to express themselves. I feel like we wasn't able to express ourselves like when we was younger, and we're gonna be able to do that.
Definitely. And you know, whenever I find myself not doing something because of the way it's going to look or because of the way other people are going to perceive it, I always have to check myself.
Yeah.
If I'm like, I'm not going to do this and that because other people might think. If I think to myself, people might think, I have to cancel that out.
It's true.
Even like my little cousins, obviously they're at my house from Ghana, and I've been telling them some stuff, trying to discipline them a little bit, and it hasn't been going through their heads. And then I had to just use their mums. I really didn't want to, but I had to because it had to change. I was like, if you did this and this, people are gonna think that you're this, and that's when they changed.
That's the only thing that they understand.
And I was just like, I shouldn't have to bring up the fact that other people are going to perceive them
it
a
should be
certain
about
way.
them.
Yeah. You should be behaving because you want to be a better person, because you want to be a good human being, not because other people are going to think you're rude. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it really annoyed me because for weeks I've been telling them, when adults greet you, greet them back because it's respectful. I've been saying that to them for weeks. But until I said, if you don't greet people when they greet you, they're going to think you're rude, that's when they got it.
We've really been indoctrinated with this, you know, what people think, like optics. It's really bad.
Optics.
Let me tell you something. Like, it's taken us a long time to get here, where we are expressing ourselves how we want to, wearing what we want to, moving how we want to, doing our hair the way we want to, and I ain't gonna let nobody tell me what I can and cannot do with my life, with my body, who I want to love. Absolutely no one. Like, is there zero tolerance area around here?
Do you know, that reminds me, so somebody said to me they wouldn't bring me to their mum at the moment, because not that I'm in a stage to be brought to anyone's mum. It was very hypothetical.
I can't with you.
And they wouldn't bring me to their mum because they're not completely out to their mum and they don't want me to receive rudeness. And I was just like, I don't have a problem with going to your house because I'm going to command respect regardless. I don't care if your mum feels a way. Obviously, I do care. I want some sympathy. If your mum feels a type of way towards your sexuality, that's your sexuality. But me as a human being, she's gonna respect me,
right?
And if she tries to talk to me sideways, I'm going to tell her, you will respect me, and there's no need for me to be rude, but I'm always going to command respect regardless. I'm so sorry. And I do think that when you exert that and you demand that, people do think you're rude, people do think you're being disrespectful, and that's because they are offended. They are offended because they expected you to take their rudeness or their disrespect. Not over here, baby.
But I also feel like standing your ground and standing up for yourself and defending yourself, like, makes people respect you more.
Yeah, it does. I feel like in the moment they might feel stupid. But eventually they will go respect you next time.
Yeah, and you have to demand it. You always have to demand respect, or people are just gonna do whatever. We're gonna walk all over you.
No, God forbid.
You have to do it. At the end of the day, we are grown. So I support you.
Yeah, girl. I was like, I'm standing on business.
You standing on
We stand on business this year.
Oh my God, 2024, we are standing on business. So I've got let me read this one. We get some long dilemmas. We haven't done a dilemma in a while.
The reason why we haven't been doing the dilemmas is because you guys really send us really long dilemmas.
I think they should though.
But you need to condense it because like we can't read the whole thing.
No.
Time is ticking and people's attention span is going. So try and get to the important parts of the dilemmas because we really enjoy them and we really want to like put them out every single week. But please, get to the point.
Yeah, you got get to the point. Okay. This one comes from Ghana.
Okay.
Akwaba. Have you ever been so caught up in yourself that you totally forget about the world around you? And when you realize, you feel the massive weight on your shoulders. I'm reaching out through mail because I want to be super discreet. I'm a Ghanaian who is currently residing in Ghana and having to stay under the thumb about who I am and is recently eating me up.
Aww.
The secrecy and the lies, the inability to be my authentic self. How do I come out and still be accepted by family, friends, and the society as a whole? Truth is, I have my little family and I can't even introduce them to my family. My family knows I'm living elsewhere, but I have no idea I have my own little family and I'm really yearning to introduce them, but how do I go about it? It's beginning to get to me, making me have all these kinds of thoughts. Came across your page just yesterday evening and took some time to go through and listen to your podcast, and I feel I can share my plight with you. How do I keep living? Question mark, question mark.
Oh, do you know what? I'm glad that you went through our page and you thought like we could handle this dilemma for you. And obviously you're Ghanaian as well. We're always going to have a soft spot for our Ghanaians. We're Ghanaian as well. And I mean, it's really sad. It's really sad, first of all, for anyone who lives in a country where society is not accepting of them. I don't think a society is accepting of anybody fully, first of all, regardless of where you live. But I think when it comes in terms of sexuality, if you don't have laws in place to protect you, then you're just already fighting a losing battle by just existing. And so I feel you when it comes to that. Like, over here, we have the privilege of having laws to protect us. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, no one can really tell us nothing either because the law's gonna have our defense, but you don't have that. And when in terms of coming out to your family, don't do it if it's not safe.
Yeah, I 100% like agree with that. Like, I think, you know, I understand like wanting to tell your family because you don't want to hide that part of yourself because it's an important part of yourself. Like, every part of yourself of a person is important, but like having a family, you know, having people that you love outside of your bloodline, like, you, of course you want to share that with the people that you love, but I think that it has to be safe. Like, I would say that to somebody who lived in London where there are laws protecting us, and I would say that is even greater for somebody who lives in Ghana where there are no laws to protect them. Like, I really think that, you know, your family more than anyone, you know your family more than us. Is really up to you to gauge, you know, try and see how they would react to it, how they would respond to it, what they think about queer people. I know sometimes it's different because, you know, they can have their views on queer people, but when it's their family member, they might have a little bit of grace for them. But also some family members don't. Do you know what I mean? Some family members don't have grace for even their people that they share same DNA with. So I think that you really need to gauge, you know how you think it will be received, how you think the news will be received, and go with that. There's a reason why you haven't told them up until this point. You need to listen to that. You know?
I think so as well. And I can understand that mentally it's very like taxing on you, like keeping this whole family a secret and like just suppressing yourself in general. And I mean, if you can seek some sort of therapy, that I would suggest like that. If there's some talking groups maybe online that you can find, because I'm pretty sure you're not the only person that feels this way, and there's people that you can talk to that can really validate your feelings and create a safe space for you to express. If you can find something like that as well, because it's easier just to say try to to move to another country.
Yeah, no, that's not. But
that's not realistic.
It's not realistic.
It's not realistic unless you really want to do that. You shouldn't have to do that because you're running. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It's really sad when people have to move because they're queer.
It's also the person's country. Like, that's their home. Like, why should they have to leave their own home? It's so unfortunate.
I wouldn't encourage anyone to leave from home unless you were like your life was at danger. I wouldn't really encourage anyone to leave home. Yeah. But like that's your personal choice. But yeah, just go and find therapy, like talking groups and things like that. I
think also that you know, it's good to find allies as well. So there might be somebody in your family that you could tell that's outside of like your parents or your siblings. There might be cousins. Sort of like gauge it and just see how that response is like, and then I think that will kind of give you an informed, you know, decision on like how you should go about it. Like, I think sometimes, because for me, when I came out, I was telling everyone else around me, my parents were my last stop, because I was just seeing how like how they would take it, and if I had anyone who would support me and accept me and be an ally. So I think that is worth looking at some other family members to maybe see if you can tell them to. And also, like, sometimes we do have to accept that maybe our family who we share blood with are never going to accept us. Sometimes we have to come to that.
I reposted a video today on our page, of a man who was a man. Sorry, I'll shoot the time. A man who was like 58, and he just started transitioning last year.
I saw that.
Yeah, and I was quite surprised to see that he said that some of his family weren't accepting. It seemed like quite a lot of his family were not accepting, and that how his colleagues and one sister was the most accepting for his transition. And it felt like for me at 58, like people would have a lot more grace. Family members would have a lot more grace, because I feel like if you've waited at that age and you've decided to change your gender and like transition into that and go through that process at that age, and it can affect your health, because your health is not as good as when you're younger. To take that risk and do that, it must be something you desperately want to do. And it's like, do you know what, this is a life and death for this person, let me support them. And you haven't taken the decision to support them at 58.
Come on,
and they lived in a white man who lives in America as well, by the way. And
so
if they haven't
someone with privilege,
so with so much privilege, and even they haven't got that support from their family, it's just like you have to just choose yourself at the end of the day, man.
You have to.
Like, unfortunately, family is just not always going to be there for you. Even the ones you expect, like that family, I would think they'll be there for them. But even that, like, it's a process, boy. It is a process.
No, big up to that man who did that, you know, at later stage in life, because they've lived their whole life. Do you know what I mean? And living how they want, other people want them to live, you know, and finally they're doing something for themselves. I think that's beautiful. But going back to this dilemma, I would say gauge it.
There's always another gay in the family, by the way.
You just don't know about the uncle, the gay uncle, or the gay cousin.
Listen, I've got like at least 2 gay cousins that I know are gay for sure. Like, one of them, she's even introduced me to her babes before, but nobody in the family knows that she's queer. I'm the only person in my family who is out and queer. I've got at least 2 uncles who are also gay. One of my uncles is out as a queer man, and he's kind of shunned from the family. So I feel like after him, then it's me. But I'm still there. He's a gay man. He came out a lot earlier than I did. He's a lot older than me. He came out at a different time. Yeah. So he wasn't as accepted. I mean, my mum's siblings and stuff accept him, but outside of that, not really. And I've got another uncle who is in the closet, but everybody knows that he's gay, but no one discusses it. Like, he's an old man. I never.
This is the one that I saw. Yes. He's
he's one of the girls.
He's one of the girls.
And like, he's never had a woman before. And I'm giving you examples of Ghanaians here. Yeah. These are all Ghanaians I'm giving examples of that have grown up in Ghana and everything like that. And they're all in my family, but you're not the only gay in the family.
No, you're not. I know. Try and find an ally. Do try and find an ally. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I hope so. And also reach out again if you want to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're always here to talk to you if you need that. But yeah, I got another dilemma, but I think we'll save it for.
We would love to read another dilemma, but it's extremely long and we have to finish up studio time. So next week we'll leave more time for dilemmas next week.
And send them in if you've got dilemmas that you want answered, or you want some guidance, or you just want an ear. We are here. Think of us as your queer aunties, because we are here for the community. So send us to our email hello@tutus.co.uk.
I do actually have a dilemma in my DM somewhere. Someone said, do I need them to propose to me? I'm screaming.
Oh, that person.
Okay, I have a dilemma. So I'm going on a date with a hot Libra. In fact, I knew this person when we were teens, and we reconnected years later. Kind of crazy. I have no idea how to know if they actually like me or they just being nice. Seems like a pattern with Libras for me. Always chemistry, but ends in tears. They've been telling me nice things, flirting, but sometimes they fully ghost, but always come back charming as fuck. They are really hot and sweet. I want to impress them, woo them. As a Libra yourself, any tips?
Do you agree with certain? Can you identify with certain?
I feel like
character traits of a Libra.
Yeah, they said that they're flirty. Okay. It says that they're charming. Agreed. It says that they will ghost sometimes, which is something that if I'm not interested in you,
like
they
3 months
they will do that. I'm gonna be honest. When I'm in the like pre-talking stage with somebody, and I'm like deciding if I want to talk to them, and I'm flirting, if I'm not like putting my all in, and even though I'm flirting with you, you can't read into my flirting too much. You just cannot read into my flirting too much. Like, unless I'm being intentional, I'm like, let's meet up. because I'm gonna do that if I'm trying to chat to you. And a lot of Libras are like the same way. We are quite romantic people. Unless that Libra is taking those steps, they're wasting your time with the flirting, girl. Just appreciate the flirting. For
Just
what
have
it
fun,
is.
yeah. Just have fun with the flirting.
Don't read into it too much, yeah. And because sometimes I do that. Sometimes then I stop responding to somebody, and it's because I'm not that interested. That's the reason.
I think that you really got to look out for intention. Like, you see when somebody likes you because they're being intentional. They're like, they want to see you, they want to go on a date, they want to spend time with you. That's the kind of vibe you should be looking out for. Anything other than that, like, which is like flirting, please don't be taking it. It's a bit of fun.
Don't take flirting to heart,
it's a bit of fun.
No.
Yeah. That's what I would say.
And that's that for this week. That is that. Thank you so much for listening, guys, to Tutu's podcasts 2024. Make sure you use the hashtag Tutu's podcast on Twitter. Big up Paula. I can see Paula. You using the hashtag.
Yeah.
Make sure you rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and get involved in the conversation in the Q&A. I feel like the Q&A thing, I might try to like change up the questions a little bit, because it's a default question right now. But I appreciate everyone who comments on our YouTube as well and things like that. And let us know where you're listening from. Drop some flags.
Do that.
Until next week.